Mademoiselle dzwoni rörde się stała odspräksza. Valt es gatavs!
2,16 metri augsts. Ja tu skaties uz viņu, tu skaties uz augšu. Kurš ir tas, kuram daudzāk naudas? Kurš ir tas, kura vārdu mēs jaucam? Es esmu tik īs, neesmu tik jauns, es esmu tik stīvs. Es ienāku klubā un nometu naudu, nometu slēpes, nometu kurpes. Iesēžos dīvānā, kā es man smirdu, uzvelku kurpes, turpinu tusēt, izeju cauri, no augšas lieku. Tā kā Kristaps Porziņģijs, tu ieraudzīji mani, stāv pretī tev mazā, tu gribi man slēpes, tu gribi man...
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 302 of the New York Knicks podcast. Mark, do you know what that was?
I believe that was a song about Porzingis. I don't know. Is that actually Porzingis singing?
No, that is a Latvian rap song about Porzingis.
That is pretty goddamn awesome. When was that written? Is that like something that they just released as with the draft, or something that's been?
I think so.
That is awesome.
Yes, I love that.
That should be the new theme. As I was listening to it, I was thinking of like other ways you can use his name. I'm like, anytime he does a putback and gets to a rebound and gets it in, we should call it he Chris taps it in.
I like it.
And when he shoots a three. He Porzingis is another three. We should try to use his name in many ways as possible.
What about when he does something really good? He's the Porzingod.
Yes, I like it. There's a zinger. How are you doing? I have a question for you, Jay.
Okay.
Who do you think dislikes the Melo contract more? Melo or Phil?
Definitely Phil.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Melo. Melo's gonna be kind of annoying about it. Like
Melo's got 125 million reasons to like it.
That is a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe it's. Here's the thing. I feel like part of the reason Melo is on the contract is that the reason because we don't have the draft pick this year. Because we don't have the draft pick anyhow, he couldn't tank 2 years in a row.
Right.
So you might as well start competing right in your second year.
This has been the weirdest offseason I can remember. I think since we started doing the show 5 years ago. Because the Knicks are not giving out albatross contracts. They're making even roster moves, getting actual players that fit the open roster spots that they need. And I'm not angry.
They've done nothing. They've done nothing that's been like, wow, we're going to win the title. But they've done nothing also that's been like, wow, we're screwed for another 5 years.
We're going to get into each move in detail, but I just, that was my initial reaction that, hey, this is how an actual team behaves.
Hey, they're building an actual team. That's not a bad signing. It's all like, oh, that guy has some upside. Oh, that's not a bad signing. Oh, I can see that. They've added guys a center who's at least a league average center. Not bad. We didn't have anything close to that last year. They added a league average shooting guard. We haven't had one of those in a decade.
Do you want to just jump into some of this?
No, I want to talk in the abstract and never get to it.
So a lot of people were saying Phil has failed this offseason because he didn't get Aldridge or Gasol or something like that. There was a 0% chance he was going to get those guys. Like
Phil was hired to sign LaMarcus Aldridge. Every time when we signed Phil, you knew he had to get Aldridge. That was it.
I thought
he's a failure. He should commit ritual suicide.
I thought Phil Jackson was just going to show his 13 rings, and Aldridge was going to be like, you know what? I could join a championship team and play with some of the greatest players of all time, or I could play with Melo.
He whipped out his rings, and Marc Gasol blew him before signing the contract.
I mean, both Aldridge went to the Spurs. I mean, come on. Who are you going to choose?
I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's going on, why was Phil brought here? He's brought here to bring free agent. He's brought here to win games and build a team. It's not going to happen overnight. No, even if we signed Aldridge, we weren't winning the title next year. We're trying to build something sustainable. He brought some guys that are going to be good right now, and some guys that, if things work out, and they may not, but they might build a very, very good team in the future. Guys with upside.
So let's discuss this.
Okay.
Roy Hibbert looks like he's going to L.A., and it was a salary dump.
I'm trying to figure out what LA is trading, and I still haven't found out what LA is trading to Indiana.
I think it's going to be second-round picks, cash, and maybe like one or two terrible players.
Okay, so I was saying last week that I wouldn't mind getting Hibbert, and I still think I think it's a pretty good move for the Lakers.
I would argue, though, that the Robin Lopez signing was better.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that. I'm just saying Hibbert wouldn't have been a bad guy to get. I think the Lakers, they didn't completely strike out this because you got a guy who can play defense. You get to try him out for 1 year. If he ends up being good, you can try to re-sign him. And if he ends up being bad, you're hasta la vista till next year.
A lot of people were mad about this, though.
That we didn't get Hibbert, or that we got Robin Lopez, or what?
Well, both.
We got the better Lopez. Does everyone realize that? We got the Lopez that actually plays games every year, not just out with a foot injury every year. We got the Lopez who can actually play defense.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I also am excited for the Knicks to play the Nets now when they have like two Lopez's enter, only one shall leave.
So here's why I think Lopez over Hibbert was the right
Wait,
move.
people are mad the Knicks didn't get Hibbert over Lopez?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Twitter is a terrible, terrible place sometimes.
Is it like members of Hibbert's family just don't want to move to LA, or
maybe we have some listeners too that think we should have Hibbert. So
Okay.
here's the reasons why we should not. All right. Hibbert has regressed 3 years in a row in every single statistical category. Hibbert is a year older and he's on an expiring contract, which means when he is just about to turn 30, his contract will expire and then we'd have to pay him a lot of money. Basically repeating the cycle we've done for the last 10 years.
right?
Lopez is only 27 and we locked him in for the 4 years of his prime.
Right. I mean, the only thing you have benefiting too is that he's played there for a year. He'll probably get used to playing. He'll probably like playing there. You're more likely to return to the team you came from.
Are you talking about Hibbert?
Hibbert.
Yeah,
so
but
like
my
the Lakers
point is-
are more likely than anyone else to sign him next year if he plays well.
Right, but my point is he's already making $15 million. He's not going to want to take a pay cut. So you're going to end up paying a 30-year-old Hibbert like $16 to $18 million.
It's also Hibbert's coming off a bad year. Lopez is coming off a pretty decent year. I mean, he was injured for part last year, but
Actually, the salary cap jumps. Hibbert's probably going to ask for over $20 million. So
Hibbert's not going to get $20 million.
he's going to ask for it.
He could, you know what? He could ask for your entire franchise. I will only sign there if you give me the franchise and leave.
Well, that's my point. We locked in a center at at $13.5 million, who I don't think is any worse than Hibbert.
No, I think he's as good or better. I think he can. I think he plays pretty decent defense. Hibbert plays pretty decent defense, and he's better on offense. Not that Lopez is all that amazing on offense. Hibbert is really bad on offense.
Really, really bad.
I saw something about how for something about centers where he's had 3 seasons with field goal percentage below 45%, which is like one of the worst of all time. Basically, only a couple other centers have ever done that.
Yeah, I think it was like the second or third worst of all time for a center.
Yeah, I don't think is anyone really that mad we didn't get Roy Hibbert? I think I get when people are mad that, hey, Rajon Rondo signed a 1-year contract and we didn't get that one. I can see you being annoyed by that.
I am totally not annoyed by that.
I know you're not because you hate Rondo, but I would say Rondo's worth a risk for a 1-year deal. I mean, how is he not worth a risk?
Nope.
Okay. $9.5 million for I think the Kings, I like what they did this offseason. I kind of actually love what they did.
Yeah?
You don't love what they did?
No, they got Rondo. I hate what they did.
You got a great passer. You got a defensive-minded center in Cauley Stein to go with Cousins, and they signed a shooter also, a trade for a shooter.
They got a head case who hasn't been good in 3 years, and they got a center who may have chronic foot problems forever.
You know what? He had foot problems, weren't they, from like 6 months ago or a year ago, or I don't know. He has foot problems. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Cauley Stein. Cauley Stein looked pretty good in that video when he was shooting all those shots.
Do you want to jump into the questions now, or do you want to go through the rest of the Knicks signings? Okay,
why don't we you want to read through quickly the free agent signings, and we can make quick comments on them?
Sure.
Okay.
We got Aaron Aflalo.
Okay. Do you want to do all the Knicks or everyone?
It's in alphabetical order, so that just happened to be the first one.
I thought you were. I like a Aflalo signing. It's when I was hearing him going to get like $36 million over 3 years, I was going to throw up. 2 years, $16 million sounds like a completely reasonable contract,
and it's a player option in the second year,
it's the player option, right?
Yeah.
Which is I don't understand why it's not the Knicks option.
Probably because we couldn't totally rape him more than we already did.
Fair enough.
You think about it, like there were so many ridiculous contracts, and this was a very reasonable one.
It's a pretty reasonable contract. He's a pretty average shooting guard. He can play some defense. He's kind of two-way, just not great on either side. He averaged like 20 points a game a couple of years ago.
He would actually be the best shooting guard we've had in about 7 years.
I believe you're wrong. Who in 7 years ago was as good?
I think Crawford was pretty decent 7 years ago.
Oh, Crawford was only 7 years ago? Does this seem like a lifetime ago?
It does. It really does.
If the Knicks had just kept Crawford and Zach Randolph, would you be happy if the Knicks made no moves since then, just kept Randolph and Crawford, or how the team they have now?
Because then if you added like Lee and Gallinari with Randolph and Crawford, that's a pretty decent team.
Oh, my God. I would much rather have Crawford and Randolph and not have Melo right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Someone was saying on the radio how it's so weird that the Knicks fans hate Melo, but like, no, you can't say too many negative things about Amari without people jumping on your throat and being like, Amari came here. Amari did all this for us. And why Amari, who played maybe half the games, he was maybe healthy for half the games, still gets so much love from Knicks fans. But Melo, who's actually here, even if it took a lot of money, is here, gets so much crap.
I think it's because Amari always looked like he was trying really hard, even if he, was terrible on defense. At least it looked like he was trying.
He was trying really hard, but he was facing the wrong way or playing no defense most of the time.
Right, but it looked like he was trying, whereas Melo looks like he just doesn't try on defense a lot of times.
I feel like people just had lower expectations for Amari. For whatever reason, people were like, "Oh, well, you know what? He was standing upright the entire game. That's good enough for us." I don't. Like, it just seems like either you can kill them both or you can love them both. But the love Amari and hate Melo seems weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
And we give him more of what Melo. I guess we want more from Melo. We feel like he should be better than he is. But go on.
Alexis Ajinka.
You can just skip people like that.
Okay. Aldridge to the Spurs.
Great move for the Spurs.
This is ridiculous. The Spurs get to reload. They got rid of Splitter and replaced them with Aldridge and kept pretty much the rest of their roster intact.
See, that's the thing. What annoys me is that we couldn't have gotten in on the Splitter trade.
Yeah, Splitter would have been nice, and that was a complete salary dump.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing which I wish we can get in on more. Splitter is a good player. I would love to have him on the team next year.
So I couldn't help but notice that Portland lost 4 out of 5 of its starters.
They were reloading.
No, they were just unloading.
Yeah, no.
I mean, their big reloading was Al-Farouq Aminu.
Yeah, what do they do? I mean, obviously, at least they kept Lillard. I mean, he's the guy of all the guys you want to keep. I guess he's a guy to build around. But I'm not even joking. He's a pretty good player. But they went from up and coming team to guaranteed lottery next year.
Lillard's like, what the hell? I just signed a max contract. Every person is gone.
When you guys said you were committed to winning, why did you wink after?
So that's what the elbow to the ribs meant.
You know what I hate also in the free agency? When they talk about a guy saying, well, he says he wants to win, so why did he sign there? He says he wants to win, so why did he... Everyone says they want to win. No one has said they don't want to win. They just care about the money. It's one of the things everyone just has to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time you believe when someone says, I want to win is when they do like a Tim Duncan, they sign like for half what the market would give.
Yeah, like Dirk. He's like, I can make 24, but I'm going to get 8.
Yeah, that's I want to win, and I'm going to take a much lower salary than the market would give me. Other than that, like LaMarcus Aldridge going, I want to win. Well, I want a lot of money and to win.
Yeah.
I mean, if he really wanted to win, he could also just go sign with Golden State. I'm sure they would take him at the league then.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Omer Ashik, 5 years, $60 million. Seems kind of steep.
Wait. Where is he?
He stayed with the Pelicans.
So the Pelicans. Yeah, I kind of wanted him, but that seems kind of steep.
Yeah, that seems pretty damn steep.
So I feel like Robin Lopez and him are kind of a very similar player, and we got a better deal on Lopez. Not much of a better deal though.
I was kind of surprised to see Bellinelli leave the Spurs.
That I was surprised.
That must have been just the Spurs clearing up cap for Aldridge.
That's another guy I would have liked to have gotten, but
let's see. Beverly decided to stay with the Rockets. 4 years, $25 million.
I kind of wanted him, but
I think $6 million a year is pretty decent for him.
yeah, no, I think that's fine for him. I think he's a good. People were saying that like, well, where do you have Galloway? He does the same thing, except for Beverly's better.
Yeah.
But
Luke Ridnour got traded.
do we have any guards?
Yeah.
Not really, though. We got a follow. We got Calderon. We've got the guy we just drafted.
Grant.
Grant.
Galloway.
We got Galloway. That's 4, right?
Yeah, you got to think they're going to call up Shved.
I think they supposedly, I saw something that like last week they were going to try to get Shved back. But I feel like even that's 5. Your roster of 12, the roster of 15 should have more guards.
Oh, they're not done.
I'm just getting a little worried they're going too big.
Our center is 6'8".
Lopez is 6'8"?
Oh, no, I forgot about Lopez. Never mind.
I was like, isn't he like 7 foot?
No, he's 7 foot. Never mind. Our backup center.
Okay. Okay, go on. Maybe we should go faster through these because people are like, oh, I saw all these listed somewhere. I don't need you to read them to me.
Okay, yeah.
Go a little. Why don't you just say? Why don't we just say like it or don't like it? Quickly.
Okay. Corey Brewer, Rockets, 3 years, $24 million.
Hate it because he's not a Knick. Go on.
Also, I think it's a little steep.
He's a pretty good player, but yeah.
Jimmy Butler, max.
I think Houston's got a decent shot of going to the finals next year. So, I mean, outside of Golden State and San Antonio and them is the West.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler, 5-year max.
Chicago kind of had to do it. So
yeah. DeMar Carroll, 4 years, $60 million.
So Atlanta, do they do like crack there before they sign contracts?
No. He went to Toronto for that.
Oh, Toronto. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. 4 years, $60 million. Landry Fields feels better about himself because he won't be people won't rip on him anymore.
So is that like an annual tradition? Toronto just gives out a terrible contract.
That contract is just everyone's saying that like a guy like this is what those guys are worth. The guys who can shoot a 3, you can stretch the deep. Is Carroll that great?
No.
I mean, it wasn't like he was the dominant player on Atlanta.
He's one of those guys that needs really good ball movement to get involved in the offense, and he doesn't have that in Toronto.
Is he a great defender?
He's an okay defender. He's going to regress.
He's young. He's young. He could get better. I feel like he's one of those guys
20.
that people thought he would become very good.
Mark, he's 28.
Oh, I thought he was younger than that.
No.
I feel like that's just if he was making like 10 a year, I guess I could see it a little more. Just everyone's saying also because the cap is about to go up by like $30 million, these contracts aren't really what they are. This is more like a 4-year 60 is more like 4-year 40 under the new cap.
I don't like it. Tyson Chandler, 4 years, $52 million.
I like it if he plays.
I think it's ridiculous. He's turning 33 next week.
I think he's better. He's better than Lopez. But there's a better chance Lopez will be healthy most of his contract.
I would be crapping my pants if I had a 4-year contract for Chandler.
Yeah, I just feel like you're looking at him and going, oh, he was healthy last year. There's a good chance he's not going to be healthy those 4 years. There's a good chance most of the contract he will not be healthy.
Yeah, I know. I think that's just terrible.
But if he stays healthy, it's a good move for Phoenix. But
I'm going to skip a bunch of these. Dragic.
Also, is he that different than is DeAndre Jordan that much better than him? Healthy,
no. The problem is, Jordan's 27 and Chandler's 33.
I guess Dallas is just banking they want to go younger. I just don't think I don't think Dallas is that much better getting DeAndre Jordan. Well, and they have no one to pass to him now. So.
I mean, I would rather have 80 games of Jordan than 50 games of Chandler.
No, I'm just saying it's not like they signed Jordan and they're like, okay, we're going to the finals. We're actually favored to do pretty much how we were doing last year.
Right.
You would hope a big sign like that would be like, this is going to push us over the top and not just this is going to make sure we're as good as last year.
Yeah. Dragic, 5-year max.
He's not worth 5-year max, but I get why Miami did it.
Yeah. Pierce went to the Clippers, and the Clippers replaced him with Jared Dudley.
Pierce went to the Clippers.
Let's see. Monta Ellis joined the Pacers for 4 years, $44 million.
Wait. Pierce went to the Clippers. What was the rest of that?
Jared Dudley
went to Washington?
Yeah.
Oh.
He got traded to the Wizards.
Well, like I would say, like Clippers. I'm kind of worried about now they don't have Jordan.
They're a Chris Paul ankle roll away from missing the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, they say now that they say one of the reasons Jordan left is that everyone hates playing with Chris Paul. So Chris Paul really is just like Melo.
And Kobe.
Yeah.
Monta Ellis, 4 years, $44 million to the Pacers.
Also, that would ruin the theory of if only Melo passed more, people would want to play with him. Which one were you gonna say? Monta Ellis, how much did he get?
4 years, $44 million.
Who gave that to him?
Pacers.
Who's gonna regret that really soon?
The Pacers.
Okay.
I used to shock that Eric Gordon exercised his player option for $15.5 million.
I'd be shocked if he didn't do that. Yeah.
Let's see. Danny Green, 4 years, 45, I think is a steal.
There's no way he was leaving the Spurs.
No, there isn't. But I'm surprised they got such a reasonable contract.
Because he's not going to get much more than that in the market. You really think? Well, actually, with DeMar Carroll getting that kind of crazy money, like he should have gotten $20 million a year.
Yeah, that's $15 million less than Carroll.
Yeah.
Draymond Green got 5-year max.
Kind of again. I think the Knicks should have just made the offer just to like put. People should have made those offers sometimes just to make sure the teams screw those teams. Like Golden State, like, hey, if you were thinking about not maxing him, we're going to offer him a max just so you have to max him.
The problem is they have 3 days to respond, and then your cap is tied up with that offer.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so then everyone else can sign people, and you're like, oh, I have to wait 3 days. I mean, the other team can respond.
The only thing is no one can sign anyone. You can't sign anyone until July 8th. All these contracts are like they're verbal agreements, not everything signed.
Yeah, but you can't offer everyone $15 million contracts.
I'm saying, is everything like, is it really tied up if it's only verbal? Can you not offer someone else until the actual contracts?
I think if you make a formal offer, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Stat Guy, where are you? Stat Guy will or will not be joining us, depending on when he's calling in, which should have been 10 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tobias Harris, 4 years, $64 million.
I love it because he's not a Knick. I was really worried the Knicks would sign him for that kind of money.
Yeah, that seemed pretty redundant with Melo, and that's a really steep contract.
Yeah.
Let's see. Skipping. That's stupid.
Do you know on another show, another NBA podcast, they're skipping all the Knicks moves?
We're getting there. Brandon Knight, 5 years, $70 million.
Wow.
So Phoenix had all these really good guards and then decided to triple down on Brandon Knight.
Yeah. Though everyone in Phoenix has big deals, all the guards. Well, actually, no, Isaiah Thomas is not a big deal, but
they got rid of Isaiah.
They got rid of Isaiah. Bledsoe's still there, I guess, but I guess Dragic got a big deal. I don't know. That's a lot. It seems like money was really flowing. Everyone's like, we're gonna get more money next year. It's just whatever we have, just spend.
Here's the one I was really happy we didn't do. Costa Koufos, 4 years, $33 million.
You see, I knew they were trying to dump Koufos, and so I wanted the Knicks to get him, but I thought he'd go on a much more reasonable contract.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, so Knicks news. Shane Larkin is now in Brooklyn. 2 years, $3 million. I would have taken him for $1.5 million. That's pretty damn reasonable.
I'm not mad he's gone. I didn't. Well, also, wasn't he like celebrating that does not do the triangle anymore?
Yeah.
He posted some kind of tweet that said, "Yay, hip hip hooray! I don't have to do the triangle." And then he took it down. I don't know what the exact wording was. So someone messaged him and he responded with like a very enthusiastic, "Yeah, well, I'm not doing it anymore."
Oh, really?
Oh, you didn't know this?
No, I thought you were joking.
No. It was something where I forget the wording. Someone posted about not having the triangle anymore, and his response was like really enthusiastic. They didn't have to do it anymore, and then he like took it down. So I guess he didn't like doing the triangle.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I can see people not liking it. It's a different system, and I don't know. It's different than you were playing. Then you have to learn a different system, and you're sucking. You're like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah. Brook Lopez, 3 years, $60 million.
That's the Nets doubling down on just being mediocre for the next 5 years.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. The guy had one healthy season, and then he took him 3 more.
I mean, the Nets are. We didn't talk about it last show. I don't understand why they traded Mason Plumlee. You should have kept Mason Plumlee and said bye to Lopez and used that money to like build a better team.
So, the guy who was injured 4 out of the last 5 seasons, you just extended 3 years and got rid of his backup.
Yeah. Here's the thing from what did he say? So someone said to him, "Congratulations for taking the black Brooklyn welcomes you. You are free of the triangle tyranny." And Shane Larkin responded, "LOL, preach." And they took that one down.
I'm surprised Kevin Love re-upped.
Hang on. So this is something that's making me angry. I hate the NBA salary cap. I think it's insane.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you like the NFL one better? The NFL one's a hard cap. You have to stay under a number. That's it. Or the NBA ones is you have to stay under this number unless you can go over with a million exceptions.
Yeah, Cleveland is going to spend like $200 million.
Well, that's with the taxes. But without the taxes, Cleveland's salary cap is going to be about $120 million, and the Knicks are not allowed to spend over 70 this year. Does that make any sense?
No, it's insane. I know if you have a player, you can go over to re-sign him. It's still ridiculous.
Yeah, forget the well, here's how it actually works. Who gives a shit? It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It also it kills competition because you shouldn't have a team allowed to spend $50 million more than another team. If you want to do baseball and have no one spent and have no salary cap, the Knicks will spend $200 million every year and I'll be very happy, even though they'll give out insanely stupid contracts. The Knicks will still they'll give it like $100 million a year for like Melo.
It's like, you can just get like 5 max players. Like, no, we'll just give it all to Melo.
But it's just maddening that it was like when the Nets. Well, the Nets did it the wrong way. The Nets spent $110 million to like make the second round. In Cleveland, they're going to spend $120 million and probably go to the finals next year. But it's just not fair that they get to give out all these giant contracts and we have to like struggle to sign people.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
The Knicks were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, and the NBA says, you know what? The team that went to the finals gets to spend $50 million more than you. Does that make any sense? And Golden State is going to spend a lot more money because basically how it works is if you get a bunch of good players, you can just sign them and just go way over the cap, and no one gives a shit as long as you're willing to pay the taxes. Mm-hmm. This is worse than flopping. I think this is the worst thing in the NBA. And if the Knicks were spending $120 million and the Cleveland was spending $70 million, I would say the exact opposite. I'm annoyed because it works against me. Mm-hmm. But there's no team that's bad that gets to do this. Only the good teams get to go way over the cap. Because no team that is bad would ever want to bring their roster over spend that much money on their roster. Mm-hmm. Unless, again, you're Brooklyn and you're just like, on the short bus.
Are you done?
Are you annoyed about losing Larkin at all? Come on.
No, I'm not.
He's not that good.
No, he's not. That's why he only got $1.5 million a year.
I would much rather have Shved and Langston Galloway.
Wesley Matthews, coming off an Achilles surgery, just got a boatload of money and a 4-year contract from Dallas. I am thinking Dallas might regret that one.
I kind of like Cuban's moves on Shark Tank than his moves for the Mavericks.
Yeah.
He seems more savvy on that show.
Yeah, I feel like he's starting to lose it. Chris Middleton, 5 years, $70 million. This was a guy many people wanted on the Knicks.
I would not have liked the Knicks signing him for this much money, but I don't hate the move.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good. He's a very good defender.
And he's only 23.
Yeah, I feel like this is a guy that you can bet on.
This was another one where I would have been kind of scared to do. Greg Monroe, 3 years, $50 million.
I hated it, actually. I didn't understand how he was that different than Melo. I get he plays down. I just feel like you want guys who are complementary to Melo, not guys that are going to take some of his shots away.
Right.
Or just not guys that are basically they're going to duplicate each other, like Amari and Melo.
Yeah, no, that would have been bad news. That really would have been. Okay, so the Knicks signed Kyle O'Quinn. 4 years, $16 million. Nothing to say about that? Think we just lost Mark. Good old internet. Kyle O'Quinn?
Kyle O'Quinn.
Yep, 4 years, $16 million to the Knicks.
I am excited for Quincy Ace to join the Knicks. Doesn't he sound like that has a very similar description?
Yeah, he does.
They're like, oh, this guy wasn't being used a lot by Sacramento/Orlando. He has a lot of upside. He can kind of shoot the three, but not really. He's a high energy guy. It's a very simple description.
And
right?
he's got a cool beard.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think I like the Phil's move. I like the move Phil's made.
You see what's happening here, right?
We're building a team.
Kyle O'Quinn. We got Robin Lopez. And who is the other guy?
Derek Williams.
Derek Williams.
Probably not going to be good.
So you see what's happening here?
What?
My theory from 2 years ago about beard power. We're only signing free agents with beards. It's all coming together. I called it.
Team Beard.
Phil is listening to the episode 103, and he's like, I think Jay's on to something about these beards.
Wait, is he going to release a book like 10 years from now called Beard Ball? That was the inefficiency exploited. Men with beards are better at basketball.
He's going to steal my thunder, too. He's going to be like, I came up with this theory called beard power.
And I did not steal it from Jay from New York Knicks podcast. And then he just says that and no one even checks.
All right, so I like the Kyle O'Quinn signing. He's 25, got him for 4 years.
Is there any more free agents? Can we go to the questions? We have a lot of questions. Or
I think we're almost done. No, we got to talk about this. Shumpert, 4 years, $40 million.
that is insane.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
That is insane for a guy that cannot play offense.
There's only like two more.
What do you think of Derek Williams?
Derek Williams, that was the one move I did not like.
I mean, on the one hand, he was the number 2 pick in the draft. Though we have the number 1 pick in the draft from like 2006, and it didn't seem to work out. It was weird that the player option, not a Knicks option again. $5 million seems like a lot.
Are you sure it's player option? I didn't see any option.
It's player option.
Okay.
Stat guy, where are you? Did Stat guy say he was really going to call in?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like he has some everything I'm reading about him says he just sucks at basketball. But how is he the number 2 pick in the draft if he sucks at basketball this bad?
I don't know. I know last year he kind of had a little bit of a resurgence on the Kings. He was averaging 14 points a game. So maybe they're saying maybe he got his act together. I mean,
people are like, oh, he can't play defense. He can't really play. He can't shoot or do any. They're saying he can't do anything. He's too small for a power forward, but too big for small forward, or not fast enough for small forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not.
I only see negative things about him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bust, and I don't see anything to change my opinion of that. So
at the same time, why not go with guys who haven't hit their potential yet? If you're going to take a guy in to see maybe if he sucks this year, whatever. It's worth taking a shot on him. I feel like he's only been in the league for what, 3 years?
I think a little longer, but you know what? It's only 2 years. It's only $5 million a year. It's not like it's. If it doesn't work out, he's already on his way out. You know what I mean?
I mean, Phil's gamble basically is he's going with a lot of things that are gambles. He's going with a lot of guys that have a lot of upside, but could just totally not work out.
But they're all small contracts too, which is fine.
Or they're a number 4 pick to draft.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis could be a total bust or have a tremendous amount of upside.
Mm-hmm.
Small contract, I totally don't mind at all with Quinn and I just feel I would have liked him to use some of this money, one of these signings, to be a guard. I feel like we can use another guard. That's all.
If we get Shved, I think we're okay.
I'm excited for Shved. I actually will be really mad if we don't get Shved back. I really liked him last year.
Because we have Calderon and Grant for point guard. I think Galloway can play both.
When Calderon's injured 80 of 82 games next year.
I still hope we get rid of Calderon. All right, we have so many questions. We got to go through these.
Okay, I feel like we need more depth. Sir Insider wanted to talk to you real quick.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Jay. It's Sir Duke Insider from ESPN. I'm kind of annoyed. It seems like you're using a different website to talk about the free agent signings.
Yeah, you see, I was going to get Insider to look at who's left in free agency, And then I
You
decided
could click on the article and find out LeBron James, where he might be going, and how to spell his name.
Right, but then I decided to go to literally any other sports website and get the list for free.
Right, but don't you want to pay? You know, if you pay, you get the correct list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the other sites are correct too.
We went to those sites and they're wrong, and you'll find out why when you click on the link.
Why are you charging for common knowledge stuff?
Listen, if you want to find out when free agency starts, pay us. If you want to find out, did LaMarcus Aldridge really sign the contract he said he was going to sign? Pay us.
You're also charging for people's opinions on what they thought of the signings.
Yes. If you want to know what opinions we have about stuff, pay us. We have the most exclusive. I mean, if it wasn't really worthwhile, would we charge for it?
That is a good
Think
point.
about it.
Yeah. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. And you don't want to like hang out with your friends and be like, I don't have good information about the NBA to share with everyone. Why don't people love me anymore? Why do I sit at home all night long and watch Ghostbusters over and over again?
I think you're going to have to work on that pitch a little bit.
Yeah, it's that was actually after a couple hours is what we came up with.
So what do you have coming up for us, Mr. Sir Insider?
Oh, this is going to be the Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is?
Will they play basketball in the summer?
I see you clicked on an article.
Is that the entire contents of your article?
Yeah. I have to click. I didn't actually pay for that article yet.
You have to pay for your own articles that you're writing, Sir Insider?
I gotta go.
Okay. Bye, Sir Insider. I like Sir Insider. I don't like his product, but...
I got some iTunes reviews for you.
Oh, good.
And then we'll go to 8 million questions. We have a lot of questions. Okay, so we have 3 reviews. Thank you, awesome people.
That's awesome. I didn't know we had that many.
By Gilafashubafati. That's the name. Best sports podcast on iTunes. Amazing show week after week. Please do more Jason Terry interviews. Should we cut to Jason Terry for his comments on free agency? You want to ask him anything?
Sure. Jason Terry, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Jay?
Well, I think the question is, how are you doing? Because you are on the Rockets.
We are a great team. I love what the Rockets are doing. We know how to, like, as far as getting to the hole, we know how to stick it in there better than other teams do. Because we use analytics to figure this stuff out. We know directly how to get our thing in the hole.
I see.
Yes. And on defense, we will come at you from all sides. We basically have we treat the ball like it's kind of like a bukkake type thing where we all kind of come on the ball. Or the person holding the ball.
That wasn't even like subtle. So
what do you mean? What are you talking about?
The Mavericks have reached out to you. Are you considering a reunion with Dirk?
You know, I like anytime someone's willing to like reach around to you, they get your attention.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Terry.
Okay. Rob Lopez 93 writes, awesome show, 5 stars. This was the first podcast I ever listened to about 3 years ago, and still look forward to their shows every week. It's just like hanging with 2 guys at a bar, just talking my favorite sports team with funny bits and genuine reactions to all things Knicks. Great fan interaction on social media, and just really cool guys. Even if you're not a Knicks fan, it's a fun listening experience to any fan of the NBA.
Thank you, newest member of the Knicks.
Yes. Also, Nignog24 writes, wow, 5 stars. Such a great podcast, funny, and you learn a lot. This podcast has become a part of my life. If you listen to it, you'll be instantly hooked. Unreal. Thank you, Nignog.
Awesome. I can't wait to see where we're ranked now tomorrow. When we come out with a new episode and we get new reviews, we usually go really high in the iTunes rankings.
And it makes our nipples hard.
It does.
Okay.
All right. Oh, we mentioned last episode we're trying to get a Ustream Producer Pro, and it was $280. We thank you for all your generous donations. We are 2/3 of the way there already. So that was a quick turnaround.
I thought we would be 2/3 there when we were like 1/3 left with our lives. I can't believe it actually happened this fast. I thought it would take like 50 years for us to get there.
Me too. Very generous. Thank you.
Insanely impressed with our fans. Thank you guys.
So Mark is moving at the end of the month, so we're going to try and get that going for August.
Yes. I probably maybe first or second, depending on how long it takes for me to actually, I'm getting internet set up in the second day we're there, so I should be fine going pretty fast.
So live interactive shows coming in about a month.
Yeah.
Mr. C writes, now that the draft is out of the way, please rank the priority of the positions to fill from point guard through center. Are any of our drafts good enough to start for a playoff team, or is Melo the only starter we have on the books? Well, this was before free agency bonanza. Summer of Flalo. I think we filled up most of our holes. Maybe another 3.
Yeah, you're good at filling holes, Jay.
We went in, since last episode, we had 4 guys on the roster. Now we have 10.
Right now we have the 4 guys we just signed. We got Melo, Galloway, Calderon,
And early,
the
Galloway.
2 draft picks. That's 10. And then you have possibly Javed, possibly Admonson. Who else?
I don't think you mentioned Galloway. And
I thought I did. But
okay. And the Greek Freak's brother.
Oh, Greek Freak's brother, who they haven't officially signed yet, but supposedly they're not going to sign him until after Summer League.
Right. So that's already like 12 guys right there.
Yeah.
13.
I mean, you don't know if he's definitely. They say he's a pretty good defensive player so far in Summer League, and it seems like with this roster, Phil's going big on getting guys who can play defense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, is it weird that people are already like, Clay Anthony early sucks, we should give up on him when he's the exact same age as Porzingis?
Yeah. Frankie writes, I really want the Knicks to just trade Melo to a contender for picks and young assets or something. I don't believe in Melo. I love Melo, got Syracuse a championship, but NBA-wise, he's not what I thought. I don't want Phil to spend a penny building around Melo. If LeBron can get that team of role players to the finals, give Melo a bunch of role players if we can't trade and just focus on the future.
Well, if you think about it this way, so the Knicks they don't have a draft pick, so there's no reason to tank for a first-round pick this year. Mm-hmm. If Melo plays really well and the team is kind of good but still far away, we could always trade Melo at that point on would have 2 years to go on his or 3 years to go on his contract at that point.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as bad of a contract to trade if Melo has a good year.
Mm-hmm. LA might be more willing to trade with Kobe off the books too.
Yeah, you still can trade him later on, and it still might make sense to trade him later on, or you can just keep him and keep playing with him. I don't know. It's the ship hasn't sailed yet on trading him.
Yeah,
and there's no gigantic reason to trade him just yet, and they're not going to off an injury.
All right, Lorenzo. I like Lorenzo's emails. I just looked at the names of the 3 Knicks draft picks and realized 2 of these will be impossible for Mark to pronounce on a regular basis. Haha.
I don't even remember what the name of the third guy they drafted. Who's the overseas guy they drafted?
Guillermo Hernanzova.
There's no way I'm ever getting his name right.
Also, Jay is now the official star of the show, given that he predicted we would draft Porzingis 6 friggin' months ago.
Yeah.
Mark, you can have the title back once you predict the Knicks' first-round draft pick, so sometime around the year 2035.
Someone pointed out before the season, apparently Howard Beck predicted all our signings. Did you see that thing?
No.
Apparently Howard Beck predicted Lopez and Aflalo and predicted Shumpert and JR be off the team. With the JR and Shumpert being off the team, pretty much a given anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, I could have predicted JR and Shumpert, but Lopez is a good one. I predict the next podcast will be 3 hours long, just based on the volume of questions I am sending in. I'm assuming everyone else is pumped also.
Yeah, we're going to go fast with the questions.
Shane writes, hey, Jay and Mark, I just wanted to know why you guys hate Carmelo so much. You can't believe everything you hear in the media. It's always speculation trying to make players look worse or better than they are. And much as I find Stephen A. Smith funny, I don't always trust his sources. I think you guys should cut Carmelo a little slack because it was Phil Jackson who offered him all that money and gave him a no-trade clause in his contract. But keep up the good work, and let's hope we sign Jordan and West and have Jose Cal okay like he always has before dealing with his injuries, because he's not a bad point guard.
I mean, not to rehash too much from last week, but if you're getting paid that kind of money, if you hate the Porzingis drafting, you're totally fine for Melo to hate it. Just don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone that's going to report it. Don't tell Stephen A. Go tell Phil and go, I don't get why you did that, and have Phil explain it to you. But don't make a big deal about it, because you're getting your money. You have to live with the Phil. When you sign with Phil, you have to live with the moves Phil makes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they drafted some guy where people were like, oh, we never even heard of that guy. No one thought he would be that good. Like, people were, at least he was like a highly touted player still. As far as also, someone pointed this out somewhere on the radio, and I had forgotten this. The Knicks last year basically had the exact same record with and without Melo.
Yeah.
They won 9 games with him and I guess 8 games without him. You'd think you think Melo would be able to, even with how bad the roster was, get us a few more victories.
Yeah, some guy was trying to defend Melo on Twitter today, and he said, look at his roster. Could LeBron or Kobe get their team far with the same roster? And I just responded, Mozgov was the Cavs' second best player, and they made it to the finals.
Well, they didn't make it there. They made it there with,
they got through the playoffs without their 2 best players.
That's true.
Mozgov was the best player
that's
for
true.
the last 3 rounds of the playoffs.
LeBron's another level player. He's not. Don't make me give LeBron love. Obviously, he's a great player. You know what? As far as Knicks teams, is this the best one that how does it compare to the 55-win team? I guess it's not as good as the 54-win team, but it's a lot better than last year's team. He actually has some good players, some real players to play around with.
Yeah.
Melo shouldn't be complaining too much. They didn't sign an all-star for him, but they're signing some decent players. You should be able to, this team should be fighting for the 8th seed.
They were all smart moves. I like this offseason so far.
Without injuries, there's no question this team should compete at least for the 8th seed.
Kasim writes, hey guys, so free agency started and it's been just absolutely crazy. Shump $40 million, Anthony Davis $145 million. These contracts are just absolutely insane. Even okay players are getting max, which blows my mind. My question to you is, who do you think has a more promising future, Lakers or us? I think we have a more promising future. Am I being biased because I'm a Knicks fan? Probably, but would love to hear your guys' thoughts as to whoever looks better moving forward. I think the free agency, except for blowing our load on any free agent, we let the market dictate who is worth how much, and we sign accordingly. Did we overpay a little? Sure, but at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Thoughts? # Team Mark is the best team in the league.
Yeah. The Lakers have 2 guys that have a better chance of working out as far as young guys. Randall and, what's his name? Russell.
Yeah.
Porzingis has a very high ceiling, but who knows when he'll get there. If you're basing it just on the young guys, you got the Lakers the edge.
Yeah, but I think it's close because we have Grant as well.
Yeah, no, we have Grant as well, but I think they have, depending on how Randall is coming back from his injury, you have 2 really, really high players who are supposed to contribute early on.
I think it's really close.
Maybe in the long run we get, as far as the rest of our roster looks better than the Lakers roster right now.
Right, but the Lakers, after Kobe goes off, they have 0 long-term contracts on the Bucks.
Right. We'll have Melo's contract.
Right.
And everyone's getting $30 million more to spend anyway.
Yeah, I think it's about a wash right now.
Yeah. So, did the Lakers have a draft pick this year?
Stats guy.
Stats guy? Where are you, stats guy?
You're fired.
Andrew
Andrew writes, I've already thought of an awesome nickname for our newly signed duo of Lopez and Aflalo, the Lolo brothers. What do you think? Can you start calling them that on the show?
Lolo brothers.
And Aflalo.
Lalo.
Lolo.
Who's Melo's wife? Lalo?
Lala's going to watch Lolo.
Lalo. I like that. It would be better if they were both twin towers as opposed to totally different positions. But I like it.
All right.
So, I just kind of like saying Aflalo.
It's going to be hard for me to find Twitter questions because 2 guys got into an argument about Melo, and I have 100 straight messages because they copied me on every single one of the arguments.
How about I start on Facebook and you jump in when you have a Twitter question?
Okay.
Gillum writes, Bobby Marks is a former NBA executive. I found some of his tweets about the Knicks very interesting and insightful. Gillum then went on to post every tweet that Bobby Marks had ever made in his one question. Thank you, Gillum. That's Gillum's next post was he says Bill Simmons wrote a book and post the entire book. I'm not going to read there's like 40 lines from 40 tweets from this guy. I'm not going to read all of these.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole thing is that he thinks Lopez is a decent signing. He likes the O'Quinn signing. Doesn't love the Derek Williams signing. And he makes a joke about a Knicks fan thinking Shved was the second coming of Jerry West. I don't think anyone thought he was second coming as much as we thought that, like, hey, we found some guy who actually looks decent with some upside and can get to the basket.
Yeah.
Rosera writes, so Robin Lopez, Derek Williams, and Arano Flalo, Knicks podcast, give a grade on this.
B+.
What do you give it?
B+.
Yeah.
Considering we weren't going to get like the top, like 10 guys, 20 guys that's
right. It was kind of a given, and also what bad team gets the top those guys?
Right.
It's pretty rare that a really good player signs with a terrible team.
So based on what we could have gotten, I give it a B+.
And the fact that none of the contracts look that bad, I'd say, yeah, B+ sounds kind of reasonable. I'm not going to give him the A. I was going to say a B, but I'd give a B. I thought. I want another guard. That's all. I would have loved if we got Brewer.
Jason writes, free agency players that you were most excited for. I'm mainly for Kyle O'Quinn, but now we have a 7-foot forward and a 6'8" center. Well, Kyle O'Quinn's a backup, as Mark pointed out. Lopez,
he's not like
center.
We still have Lopez, so.
He also writes, I'm most excited for, I guess Lopez, because it's actually nice to have a real center.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited for him. I guess Lopez. I think he's going to be better than people expect.
Also, Jason writes, which Nick from last year are still on the team? I heard Bargs is coming back, and what happened to Shved and Lido? I heard we're reaching out to Shved. I haven't heard anything on Bargs and Lido. We have Melo, Galloway, Calderon, and Early.
Do you think anyone's like, hey, Bargs, man, it's crazy. I think the NBA gave out like $1 billion in the first 2 days of free agency. Your phone must be like blowing up. What? No one called? Really? like he's like Bargs is at like the Verizon store. It's not working, obviously. Like it seems to be working, Mr. Bar. It's not. I mean, $1 billion have been given out. Why are they calling me? I was Porzingis before Porzingis. I've got upside. I was number 1 pick. Don't you know that?
I found the Twitter question. Juan writes, I like the signings we've made so far. Team is looking solid, but still might not make the playoffs. Your thoughts?
There's no way we're bringing back Bargs. Are we really going to bring back Bargs?
I don't think so.
I don't think Bargs coming back. I think they're trying to get Jason Smith.
Yeah,
I guess maybe if Smith signs elsewhere, then they're going to talk about Bargs, but that'll make me so mad.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jason Smith first.
I also think it's like Jason Smith could. The problem with Bargs, he's a guy that seems to, that some reason or number, he demands more minutes than he deserves. Mm-hmm. I would be very happy when they get Shved. What was the question? Playoffs. Yeah, 8th seed. There's no reason we can't get the 8th seed.
I would be shocked if the Knicks weren't in contention for that 8th seed.
I feel like also the Eastern Conference is so bad. If we'd switched to an all-wheelchair basketball team, we'd still be like, well, I mean, like the 8th seed, we still can get the 8th seed. It's Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Why are all Melo stands making excuses for why he's won 1 playoff series in 5? I think because Melo gets an unconditional pass in some people's minds.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the same way when I was talking about Amari before. Some people love him and will give him a pass for anything. And whatever. You know what? He should be healthy this year. The team should be kind of decent. He should play a lot better than last year. So
yeah.
I think people kill him the most is that he wants to be a superstar and doesn't play very good defense.
Yeah.
And every other superstar out there is pretty good at both ends.
Yep. TQM Wainwright writes, agree we should let Carmelo play at a high level for a couple months to increase his trade value and then get rid of him.
I would entertain that.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we're like 3/4 of the way through a real rebuild. If we could get Melo for a first round draft pick this coming year.
Do you think Phil just said to like Melo, "Hey, you know what? You might be annoyed about Porzingis. Play your ass off. If you don't like the team we have, we'll trade you midseason."
I hope so.
That would be a totally reasonable thing to, and that would be kind of, I mean, basically, that'd be kind of awesome if we could trade him and turn him into draft picks.
Yeah, Trent. Well, you could definitely get a first round for Melo. I mean, Hardaway got a
No.
first round.
Tyson Chandler not worth a first rounder though.
I mean, if you're going like that, we should get about 17 first rounders from Melo.
Oh my god! I'm still annoyed. The Tyson Chandler trade is probably the worst move Phil's made.
Yeah. Trent writes, what grade would you give Phil for free agency? We already did that. Leonardo writes, how many wins Aflalo Lopez and our draft picks will translate to us this year? By the way, I love the show. Keep it up. Thank you. I would say
40. You're gonna say 40.
Yeah, we're gonna be around 500.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for Twitter.
Okay, I think there's probably more if you find more. But Rich writes, if we sign Brewer as well as Aflalo, is Phil genius trying to recreate the 2011 Nuggets and hope that Melo will try and force his way out again? That's wonderful. I love that, Rich. That's my favorite question of the night.
If we get a haul like that, absolutely.
Alex writes, I'm almost starting to feel sorry for him. Sorry for them. Sorry. Rumors: LA interested in Amari, Jason Smith. Yeah. I do kind of want to see where Amari goes.
I heard the Lakers are looking at him. I really hope they go for it.
Oh, I hope they go for him. Yeah, Jay writes, what teams are shaping up to win the East and West next year with the recent signings? Also, what teams are going to be sewer trash? Speaking of recent signings, the one you didn't cover was Kevin Love.
Yeah, I know you kind of moved on right when I was up to him.
Oh, well, interrupt me and just say it again.
I also wanted to go over Tristan Thompson, but I guess both of those fall into your rant about them being able to just throw out crazy dollars.
Yeah. You're not annoyed by that at all?
Yeah, I mean, they give 115 to Love and 80 million to Tristan Thompson after, and they could still give LeBron 25 million somehow.
Yeah, the magic of the cap. If you're really good, you get to be better. It makes perfect sense.
They're going to have 4 guys making just about as much as Melo's making right now.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, if they said, like, hey, everyone can pay the tax. Just go, like, when you hit $70 million or $100 million, everyone can just spend as much as you want, but you'll pay this insane tax. At least the Knicks have a choice.
Right.
And they'd probably take up the choice. I just think this is absurd. Hey, Cleveland, congrats on the finals. Here's $50 million more to spend. But I think the Love move was terrible.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's a great move for Love. I mean, I get why, like, hey, you might as well just take the money in Cleveland's offering.
You know what? I don't think it's terrible because it's not like they passed anybody up. It was kind of like, hey, we can add Love where we could literally not have added anybody else because of the weird.
Yeah, that's actually true. You know, I hated the move for Love because I was like, hey, they could have spent this $25 million, $20 million better, but they wouldn't be allowed to. You can only use it on Love, so yeah, might as well.
Yeah. I found one more. Kyra writes, do you think we sign Nene and Birdman next? Who else from Denver is left?
That'd be funny if they brought back Nene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess George Karl will be our next coach.
Yeah, why not? He seems to be a nice guy that nobody gets mad at.
Yes, I guess I have to reevaluate the Love based on the fact that, yeah, you're right. Why not give him the money? I was just thinking that they didn't really need him. Or you could have spent the money better, but I guess you couldn't have spent the money better because the NBA's like the dumbest thing ever, the salary cap. George writes, players in free agency, are there any that are not chasing max money and have a true set of big balls, not to do the easy thing and just go to a contender? Free agents don't look to take a chance these days and look at the big picture, test themselves and their intelligence as players' thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's hard to turn down all that money.
I'm betting most of the people out there listening to our show are in jobs that pay them the most money they can get or close to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could just leave your job for another job that would pay you a lot more, you probably would. Unless you maybe really love your job.
I don't know. I feel like it might be different though once you're making more money than you could possibly spend in a lifetime.
It wasn't different for Melo.
Well, no, definitely wasn't. Well, Melo's about the money.
You know what? I guess they all say like we only have our careers are pretty short. We can get injured tomorrow and have the career be over. You might as well take, and you usually only get one of these max contracts. Just take as much as you can, or else like you're stupid not to.
Yeah.
No one's going to pay you. No one. You don't get any extra money or any extra. You don't get anything extra for not doing it. So I feel like unless you're like in a situation where you're at the end of your career like a Dirk, then it's only worth. That's the only time you actually don't take the max money. Why wouldn't Dragic? He's not worth max money, but if you're Dragic, why would you not do that?
Oh no, I definitely would. I feel like though after you've gotten that max contract, then it's kind of like, well, let's just play wherever and win championships.
I don't know. You also probably a lot of these guys don't spend the money. It's not like they're like taking the money. Oh, I made $100 million. I can live for the rest of my life. They're probably like, I paid $100 million. I'll spend 80. Realize after tax I only got 50, and I need another max contract.
Right. Yeah, that's usually the way it goes.
Yeah, so I feel like it's not like they're spending the money that well half the time. I get why they're going for. I mean, I guess the real difference is it's only really that like, hey, I can get a max money here. I can take slightly less to go to a contender. That's the only time it really happens.
Yeah.
But no one seems to be taking max money to go to a terrible team.
Well, Carroll came close.
Toronto's supposed to be good. Ali writes, how would you guys have lured free agents to this team if you were the GM of this team? Waterboarding.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one.
Marc Gasol. You haven't seen your wife lately, have you? Think about it.
I probably would have just played the Porzingis rap.
Yeah. I don't think there's that much. I don't care who is the GM. There's not that much you could do.
It's like you're the worst team in the East. You have an injured star over 30 and literally no other good players.
I mean, the only way you do it is if you convince two guys that both of them to come together.
Yeah.
Like Miami with Wade convinced LeBron and Bosh to come together, or however they worked that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like the better way to do it would be like how like the Celtics did it many years ago with Pierce and Ray Allen, right. Garnett and Ray Allen.
Yeah.
You get a lot of chips that you can turn over to these guys later.
I'd like to get Barbosa on the team.
I would love to get Barbosa. Is he still a free agent?
Yeah. Unrestricted.
The thing is that he's going to want more money than we have. Because, we have a strict limit. We're only allowed to spend 70. But I think Cleveland's allowed to give him max money. Greg writes, who's looking better now, Knicks or Nets?
Knicks.
Someone suggested this on the radio. This was an interesting one. That guy Bogdanovich, whatever, on the Nets, and Joe Johnson for Melo.
Joe Johnson?
Interesting because it's obviously the contract flip. You only have 1 year of Joe Johnson.
Right. I would do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad move. And that guy Bogdanovich looks kind of decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I would do that.
But I'd much rather be the Knicks.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think the Nets have. I don't know what the Nets are doing right now.
I think the Knicks team is better than the Nets team right now, and their somehow their draft situation's better.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And their salary cap situation's better.
Yeah.
Greg writes, Robin Lopez or Jordan, or obviously you would have liked DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could have taken 5 years of Hack of Jordan.
Would you rather Jordan's contract? What do you got? $20 million a year?
Yeah.
Would you take Jordan at 20 or Lopez at 13?
Lopez at 13. I don't think Jordan's that much better.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I just don't think it's a lot of guys got so much money where you're like, I'll take a guy that's almost as good for less money and have more salary cap to work with.
Right, right.
Greg writes, any other Knicks-related rumor you've been hearing? P.S. I'm still hoping you guys can unretire Derrick Rose. Greg really likes Derrick Rose.
He really does. We'll get to Derrick Rose soon.
I don't think Derrick Rose made it to the show today.
No, we couldn't lock him in today. We got Jason Tatum instead.
Greg also writes, any other Knicks-related rumors? I guess we mentioned Shved and we talked about.
Yeah, the newest one was Jason Smith.
And I've heard Adamson also, and there's also talk of Lance Thomas.
That'll almost round out our 15 person roster.
They're probably not going to do that though, because they're probably going to wait till at least summer league to see who else like emerges, who else looks good.
You always want 1 or 2 spots open.
And also, they're probably going to just wait to see if anyone else goes unsigned and he just needs to like take a vet minimum.
Yeah.
Jason, Jay, please open the show with the angry, cursing Porzingis guy. I think we did it last. We played that last episode. Greg writes, I know you guys have seen this somewhere. These are the players that the Kings should sign to pair with Cousins. I think they already paired him with pretty good players. But it was Nick Young, Rudy Gay, Kevin Love. I wonder if Mark gets it. Yes, I got it. Greg writes, I don't know if you guys have heard about the rumor that Jamie Foxx during Doc Rivers' recruitment of DeAndre Jordan. With that, I'd like to ask you guys, if you're one of the year's free agents, who would be the celebrity that you could lure you into signing on the team? I think mine's going to be Kate Upton. Don't ask why. Marc J. So do you think, without making a joke, do you think there's any city, like, can any celebrity actually make any difference?
I think if you're not an idiot, they can't.
Do you think like someone like DeAndre Jordan comes to his free visit with the Knicks and like Spike Lee's like, hey, I'm going to put you in a movie?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Especially not lately. Do you even want to be in a Spike Lee movie now?
Do the DeAndre Jordan thing. Yeah. Greg writes, who needs Monroe anyways? The Warriors have placed David Lee on the trading block, and his preferred destination is the New York Knicks. We don't have the money to get him, right? Can we trade for him? I don't even know how the salary cap works anymore. Can we give like some kind of trade exception?
Not sure. I don't think we could fit him. If we can, yes, I want him.
Yeah, I would totally take him back.
Absolutely.
You would undo the curse of Amari.
Yeah.
Greg writes, is that a Knicks jersey he's wearing? What is if he was wearing a New York Knicks podcast shirt? The exposure.
I would crap my pants if Lee was wearing a Knicks podcast shirt.
This video has been going viral. Is that a good dad? Father's daughters get hurt and he comes out fighting. Do you even know what the guy's talking about?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Greg writes, thoughts. Here's some food for thought. In 2010, after missing out on the big name free agent LeBron, the Knicks hit panic button and signed Amari for $100 million. In 2015, after missing out on the big name free agents, the Knicks stayed calm, signed 4 players to reasonable contracts, a center for a future, a two-way guard that can be kept or replaced with ease, and 2 young power forwards with a lot of potential. Yep. Obviously, 2015 Knicks seem insane. Mm-hmm. Greg also writes, with LaMarcus choosing to play alongside Duncan, do you have the Spurs winning it next season?
They're definitely favorites.
You know what I have to say, though, is like their big three is Ginobili coming back?
They're trying.
Assuming the 3 going to come back, I got to think one of them is going to have injuries this year.
The thing is, Parker looked like crap.
I got to think...
They better get a good replacement in case Parker goes down, because he looked terrible.
But he's the youngest of all of them.
Yeah, but he looked terrible.
Yeah, I have to think injuries are finally going to hit that team.
Yeah.
I think they look pretty good, though. I mean,
No,
I still don't know if they beat Golden State either.
I take it back. Golden State's the favorite.
Yeah, I still think Golden State's the favorite. Just because they brought back everyone, basically.
Yeah, the only guy they might lose is
David Lee.
David Lee or Barbosa.
Yeah. Greg writes, grade each free agent signing we've had so far. And describe every basketball game you've ever watched. Greg also writes, thoughts. Derek Williams, 2 years, $10 million. We talked about that already. Greg also posts some pictures of Knicks players and jerseys. And he also writes, Portland fans right now. And he has a picture of Wolverine looking at a picture of Robin Lopez. And I don't know what he's looking at. Greg also writes, I say bravo, Phil, for not giving Monroe max. I heard the Knicks offered him max.
Well, I'm glad he said no.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad. I hope they didn't really offer him max, but I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because they don't have him. People are calling Quinn the new Oak 2.0. I hope so. George writes, free agency surprise signing by other teams. You guys were surprised with some of the signings. Also, the signings by the Knicks, how do you rate them, and what impact do you think they will make on the team? I guess, what free agent signings surprised you?
For the Knicks or in general?
Well, for in general.
Because Derek Williams surprised me a lot.
Yeah, that one's. I didn't think it was that surprised. I guess they were talking about him, but I was a little surprised. The DeMarre Carroll thing kind of surprised me. The Shumpert at $40 million, I was shocked.
Yeah, I don't think each individual one shocked me, but the fact that literally 80% of Portland's starting lineup left surprised me.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'm surprised DeAndre Jordan left Chris Paul. He must really hate Chris Paul because he really his offensive game was just Chris Paul passing to him, giving him alley oops. Mm-hmm. I don't know why you'd want to leave Chris Paul. They especially because Dallas doesn't have a point guard.
Right.
They got two gun salute Felton. I don't know. Anyone else surprise you?
You know,
Kyle Quinn surprised you, I bet.
Robin Lopez actually surprised me.
All
the Knicks ones surprised me.
Actually, what surprised me with the Knicks was that they didn't do anything really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked that nothing seemed. Especially when I was like, oh, when I heard they signed a Flalo, I was like, shit. I was upset because I thought they gave him 4 years, $48 million. Then I saw the contract. I was like, oh, that's really reasonable. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's not like it's not an amazing summer, but we haven't screwed ourselves with the summer either. Mm-hmm. So, Paul writes, what do we have to do? What are the chances that we will attract marquee free agents next year? Hate on Phil or not, I hope we scrap the triangle. I don't think we could have done much better in free agency this year. New York is not a destination for NBA players yet.
Yeah, I think if we get a semblance of cohesion, win a few games, and Fisher looks like he could actually coach players, I think that's all we need to do.
I think we need to win 40 games. You want to get free agents here, you got to get to 500 or close to it.
Yeah. But we got to speed up.
Okay. Rich writes, if Melo can finally be convinced to play the 4, who realistically would you like to see at the 3 this year? I don't know.
That's definitely our weak spot.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was hoping we'd get a guy that can play the 3. We never seem to have that.
Kyle O'Quinn?
Derek Williams?
Follow with the 3.
Yeah. I guess I don't even know what position Porzingis plays, by the way. He's 7'3", and he's not a center.
No, he's a 4.
Can he guard a 4?
Probably better than he can guard a 5.
Or a 3?
Yeah.
Floyd writes, how long will it take us to hate Derek Williams? Ha, ha, ha.
7.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I think it was worth a shot with him, but I can see it. I'd be surprised if it works out. I give it 10% chance of it working out, which is not a terrible gamble.
Yeah.
Who should start, Kristaps or Derek Williams? Well, I don't want Kristaps starting. Do you think it'll be it's a terrible idea to have Porzingis start? You agree, right?
Yeah.
He's too young. Don't make him start and have his confidence killed right away.
I want him to play against second units.
Yeah. I want him to get into slowly. Kind of work him in slowly. Projected starting 5s. Who will be the last signing? I like KJ McDaniel. Was Lopez overpriced? A little bit.
A little bit, but I think I'm not mad. I mean, I would have been much.
So starting 5, let's do it.
Would have been much happier with 11. Starting 5, it's Calderon, Aflalo, O'Quinn, Melo, and Lopez.
Kind of weird that Quinn's starting.
I know.
Yeah, I'm still kind of. This is the part of free agency I don't like is that we don't have a clear starting lineup yet. I mean, it could be I don't know who's playing the. I don't know if Melo's probably playing the 3, and they're probably going to, because whatever.
I mean, at least we have 4 starters instead of 2.
At least we have 10 basketball players instead of 2 last year.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, I guess DeAndre went to Dallas because he's from Texas, but amazingly, aren't the Knicks in a better position than Dallas? Melo is younger than Dirk. No young promising players in Dallas. Matthews versus Aflalo, no big difference. East is easier.
I mean, they have Chandler Parsons.
I mean, didn't Dallas win 50-something games last year?
Yeah, Parsons and Dirk is better than Melo and nobody.
I think you just look at it and go, Dallas won 50 games, the Knicks won 17. I think Dallas is a better future.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, and do you think is Melo that much better than Dirk right now? No. I think they're pretty even at best.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, why didn't the Knicks, and I'm not hating on Melo, Dirk's pretty good still. Why didn't the Knicks call San Antonio for Splitter?
Great question.
Yeah. If you could find Phil Jackson and ask him, I'd love to hear his answer.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear. He should have given a press conference after that and explained himself.
Ali writes, do you think that that this is a good deal? 6'7" power forward from Austria has accepted the Knicks max offer, $110 million for 5 years, and 6 BJs per day by Beyonce or Rihanna.
I don't even... What?
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
No.
Supposedly they were trying to get like the guy, like the best player in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that?
Yeah, he's on the Timberwolves now because the Timberwolves don't have enough good young assets.
So the Timberwolves got him. Damn it.
Yeah.
I hope they find some random guy, like some guy from Europe. It'd be nice. Do you guys think? Do you think there's a chance if we make the playoffs? This is from Ali again. If we make the playoffs this year, next season's free agents will come to us because we didn't suck as bad.
Much better chance, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good. There's a big correlation between not sucking and being able to offer money to get free agents. I guess not sucking, basically.
Yeah.
Ali writes, where do you see this team next year? 8 seed, 7 seed, top 5?
8 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, probably 8 max. I don't even see the team breaking 7. But which team do you think got the best deal and going forward improves the team the most? By the way, just going back, you know what's weird about like when you project this team based on everyone projects your team based on like the previous year, right? You just like you don't start as like you project the Dallas being like how much better or worse are they than their 50 wins they got last year, and the Knicks you project them based on how much better or worse they are from their 17 wins last year. The only thing with the Knicks is they're almost an entirely different team.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost answer this question: the Knicks improved the team the most.
Yeah, I mean, just because the Knicks had the highest to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know anyone. I don't think anyone else improved their teams that much.
I liked how everyone was bugging out like 6 hours into free agency, and then like if you waited 24 hours, we actually got 4 players.
I mean, even Aldridge. I mean, San Antonio had a great record last year. They don't. I mean, they're going to be good this year, but it's not like they got so much better.
Yeah.
Grant writes, with the Knicks signings we have made so far on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, what would you rate how the team looks so far compared to last season? Compared to last season, 47.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gillum writes, some sources claim the Knicks didn't offer the full max to Monroe. Or, if true, good move or bad move? I never saw the logic of Monroe. Do you think he doesn't play a lot of defense, and you're going to pay a lot of money for another guy who doesn't play a lot of defense?
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst move if we didn't offer it. I'm not mad about it.
I don't think it was a good move for the Knicks. So whatever. So I'm glad it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, did Melo actually leave money on the table? Seeing the contracts that are given out, Melo's money maybe isn't that much. If he had went LeBron way this summer or next, would be getting quite a lot more money and would have us pending on possibly leaving for nothing.
Melo did not take he took a max contract, but he didn't get a raise in I think year 2 of his contract.
No, I think what he's saying is he didn't take the opt-out every year like LeBron, who every year is going to get a new increased max.
Whatever. I'm not going to call that leaving money.
No, I mean, especially with the fact that like he knew when he took the deal, he knew the cap was going up majorly next year. Like he could have taken a 2-year opt-out and then could have taken a giant contract then.
Yeah, but then if he blew out his knee like he did, then he would have been screwed.
Come on, Jay. Melo took like pennies on the dollar. Melo, he took nothing basically to play here.
We're going to start up a charity fund for Melo because he's so broke.
I mean, it's not a bad point. I think I'll give him credit on that.
I won't. The guy is injured a lot, and he didn't want to bank on staying healthy and getting a huge contract.
Well, it's a 2-year opt-out on his end. So he didn't have to take the 2-year. He didn't have to opt out.
Great. He's a saint. You're right.
Gillum writes, if you want to comment on some deals, he lists every deal. We kind of did that already.
Thank you for doing that.
Core. Kyle Quinn in the, that's the guy's name. Core writes, Kyle Quinn in the New York, you're going to love this guy. If you miss Kurt Thomas, he does play in a similar way. I really hope Orlando going to keep him so we can show what he's capable to do under Skiles. I hope you actually are an Orlando fan who has been following him because I like that comment.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy about that.
Someone posted there was a game where Quinn got like some comment section on some site where he got like 21 points and the highlights of it. And they were like, yeah, Kyle Quinn. And then underneath someone posted a game of Cole Aldridge getting 28 points. And he's like, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Rosaire writes, someone to write this is where you got the Kristaps theme song from Andrew?
No, I got it on Twitter.
Yeah,
but, I'll give Andrew credit. Thank you, Andrew.
Rosaire writes, why are stupid Knicks fans asking about trade exceptions? We lost them. Because no one understands the salary cap. It makes no sense. It's completely counterintuitive. That's why people are asking about it, because the NBA makes no sense. Mm-hmm. No one's asking about these dumb things in the NFL because everyone just knows what you can spend. William writes, Robin Lopez and Tobias Harris, if we was trying to get what would you grade the Knicks free agency?
We did that.
So we want us to grade us on your different version of what should have happened in the offseason?
Oh, yeah, I probably would have given lower.
I'm not going to create everyone else's fantasy world of things that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. William writes, do you think LeBron is a handsome man with his muscles?
I'm waiting for you to read the next one.
No, Jay, I want an answer.
Yeah, he's great.
Jay, if you were to go all Caitlyn Jenner, would you go out with him?
What? Oh, I guess.
That's not a question. That's me asking.
No, I forgot who Caitlyn was.
Oh, Bruce Jenner. If you just had if you were a woman, would you go out with him?
He's pretty rich.
What would you do on that date?
All right, the show isn't long enough.
Would you go all the way on the first date?
We haven't done a long enough podcast.
William writes, people keep saying that be patient. Bitch, I have been patient for the last 11 years. Imagine we had Lopez and Willie Cauley-Stein instead of we have Barks 2.0 or Jason Smith. I hope this guy Porzingis pans out. Or else, Jay, your credibility goes out the window. Wouldn't next year look a lot better if we had Winslow?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? Yes, it would be. Come on.
I can't comment on it. Yeah, I guess it would look a lot better.
You can comment on some guy on Facebook's random fantasy offseason. I'm going to comment on my fantasy offseason.
Yeah, great. We would have been like top 3 seed if we had Winslow.
I think next season would have been better. I know Porzingis has a higher ceiling. He could be like Barks 3.0. William writes, Jay, be honest. How much did the Jewish landlords pay you to influence the pick of Kristaps Porzingis?
Stand by my pick.
Harry writes, do we really want a Flalo? I don't want old time fucker. How old the Flalo?
He's in his 20s.
Yeah, I thought he was like 28 or 29.
Yeah.
Stat guy, where are you? I'm going to look up how old he is because now I'm concerned that he's older than I think.
No, he's 28 or 29.
Which one is it, Jay?
I'm going to say 28.
29.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't mind an average point. I mean, like, people were like, oh, he's not that great. And I'm like, he's kind of average, and we don't usually have that at a starting position. Harry writes, Mark is a guy tries to mess with your sexy wife. Will you bust a cap on his ass straight out of Compton, crazy mofo named Ice Cube? Obviously, I would do that. Mm-hmm. Harry writes, fuck, I wanted DeAndre Jordan, not Robin, but still like his defense first thing, unlike Porzingis. Shaking my head. Harry writes, apparently Harry writes a lot of questions also. Harry writes, is Jay a secret fat spy since he knows the Knicks draft choice? Harry writes, do you think Phil might actually listen to you guys? He is like out of the box mastermind. Yeah, of course. Rosario writes, we're almost done. Porzingis is already injured with his hip. Thanks, Obama. I mean, Jay. Why is he already injured? I heard this, but why?
He tweaked it during workouts.
He's never going to play for the Knicks.
It's fine. It's okay. Everything's fine.
It's not going to be fine. Jay, I am going to hate you with this pick. This pick's going to be a disaster. The difference is Winslow will play in the NBA and have a decent career. Maybe be actually like Kawhi Leonard type player. We'll be like, oh, but we drafted a guy that if he was not injured his whole career would have been really good.
He'll be all right.
You know, if Bargs and Greg Oden had a baby, he'd be on the Knicks. Rosero writes, is Mark moving to the wilderness because Jay helped influence the Knicks to get Porzingis? Yes. Rosario writes, get DeAndre Jordan and Tobias Harris and I'll be ecstatic. Tell me nah, Jay and Mark. And Rosario writes, do we hate Jay for picking Porzingis? Yes. I mean, I get the pick. I don't absolutely hate the pick. Just the other guys I would have liked taking instead. Jay, any more Twitter questions? I think we did all our questions.
We are done.
What did we learn today, Jay?
We learned that we got through most of free agency and we're not angry.
Yeah, Phil has this whole like calming effect.
In Phil we trust.
In Phil we trust. Every time you get like, even like I'm like even draft like the draft, you're like, I can't believe they freaking drafted Porzingis, and you're like, oh, we got that point guard also. Okay, I'm not as mad at you, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
He does a pretty good job. Is that stat guy on the line?
Nope.
Okay. What else did we learn, Jay?
I don't think we learned anything else.
We learned that no one mentioned in the comments, but I'm shocked that people actually wanted us to get Hibbert over Robin Lopez.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that people who post on our Facebook actually know things about basketball.
I would have said if we struck it on Robin Lopez, I would have been all in on a Hibbert deal, though.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that Phil he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, good job. Phil.
And we learned that he's still going to play the triangle, which kind of scares me still. Does the triangle scare you at all, Jay?
A little bit, yeah.
It's starting to, like, last year we were all excited for this mystical triangle. Now I'm really scared by the triangle. I really hope Derek Fisher kind of uses the triangle in a very loose triangle.
I'm scared because Phil was tweeting during the playoffs that the three-point is stupid and teams who focus on three-pointers don't go anywhere. And then the Warriors won the championship.
Yeah, and then, like, all four teams in the conference finals all were really good three-point shooting teams.
Yeah.
And it seems to happen every year. And but then again, Phil took a three-point shooter with a draft pick.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think we're out.
We're out. So thank you for listening. We are at NY Knicks Podcast on Twitter. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com is our email. You could leave us a voicemail, 631-676-1181. And you could also listen to our comedy podcast, The Brink of Sanity, at brinkofsanityshow.com. Oh, and we have articles on our website, thenewyorknickspodcast.com. And that is it. We'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. Time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.